about swapping the middle bench seat on your Canadian Value edition to two captain's chairs, I'm going to show you how it's done. And right now, you see I have a 2012 Dodge Caravan, and in Canada the base model gets you this unremarkable bench seat that doesn't stow into the floors. Now you have the space, but these panels are not made for the Stow N Go captain's chairs, and so those must be replaced with the actual Stow N Go panels, as well as getting yourself two Stow N Go bench seats. And if you're lucky enough, you can find on eBay or through a particular private seller on things like KJ or Craigslist. If you're lucky enough, you'll get the exact same color match as your van. If you're not so lucky, you might have to get a different color, and maybe I'm not sure if seat covers would work with Stow N Go, but I guess patience is the key to keep on looking until you find the color match. I was lucky enough to order from eBay from a van conversion place in Minnesota, and they had the exact material, color match, and everything was great. And as you can see here, I have my Stow N Go stowage panel. So first thing I got to do is remove the middle bench seat. So with the middle bench removed, now you have to remove the bench seat style floor panel for the Stow N Go holes. Now you're going to want to remove all the bolt covers all around. And I'm going to do that right now and remove the bolts. Now that you've removed the nuts all around, don't forget to open up your panel because you have some nuts on the inside lip. So remove those as well. Alright, so got all the perimeter nuts off, the bolts that are part of the floor, and I also got the bolts, or rather the nuts, off the inside. Now the middle front part in between the front seats was kind of tricky, and it didn't release as easily as I thought. So what I did was I got in and I just grabbed the middle support beam from here and not yanked it from the plastic, because that's the weak part, and just grab it and work it loose. So now the panel can be completely removed. So I'm going to remove the panel, and I'm going to start looking at installing the captain's chairs, which must be installed first, then followed by the Stow N Go panel. Now, before you can actually put in the Stow N Go seat securing part into the Stow N Go area, you have to remove the bench seat attachment point for the front of the bench seat that's bolted into a bracket into the bolts where the Stow N Go seat get bolted. So there's one on each side, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And make sure not to lose the nuts, you're going to reuse those. So I just finished unbolting the second bench seat front latch, and you see it comes right out, and it leaves you a good open working area to bolt in the middle row captain's chairs into the Stow N Go. So I'm going to take these out and start preparing my seats. Alright, so I got both seats in. What I did initially was just stand them up, since I'm doing this alone. And you know, you gotta have a little strength or ask someone to help you. And they naturally stand up. And while it was up, with holding them with one hand over the main long middle bolt, I threaded it in, and just enough to hand tighten it, and then I was able to push it down into the hole and then torque it some more, and then I was able to put the other bolt on. Now, since you have the CVP Canadian SE edition, only 2 bolts are provided, because those are the 2 bolts that hold the hook piece for the front clamp of the bench seat. So you're not going to get a bolt here. Now, I thought the seller of the seats would have given me the bolts that came, but unfortunately they did not. And so, not thinking it's safe enough just to have 2 bolts, I went to the hardware store, and obviously it's probably not going to be the same grade as, you know, the bolt that came from Chrysler, but it'll be good enough as a safety precaution to hold the inner part of the seat in snug. And it happens to be metric. It's 10 millimeters, 1.5 coarse thread, and this particular bolt that I got has got a plastic piece in it, kind of like a safety lock. Once you bolt it on, it shouldn't unscrew by itself. So I think this should be sufficient. I've got the 2 good bolts here, and I'm just going to put in this one here, and it goes in just great. So I'm going to do that to the other side. And one word of caution, these side panels, they're like cosmetic trim when the seats go down, just to hide the mechanism. They're very flimsy, and during delivery somehow one piece is missing off one of my seats. So I'll have to contact the seller and see somehow if they forgot to put it in the shipment. I hadn't noticed until I actually installed it that, see, that side's got 2 little cosmetic trim covers, and this side is missing one. So not the end of the world. It's on the inside of the seat, but you know, it would have been nice to have the seats complete, even with a little trim piece. So I'll have to find out what happened to that. So make sure you guys get the extra bolt, and make sure your kids or your passengers are absolutely in seats that are fully secured, as they should have been, by getting those extra bolts. 10 millimeter, 1.5 coarse thread. Now, all 3 bolts have been installed on both the driver's side and the passenger side middle bench, captain's chairs. And I'm going to put the Stow N Go floor paneling over these. Alright, I was able to put in the floor paneling made for the Stow N Go seats, and I haven't bolted it in yet, but it is possible to do this alone. Just place it as close as you can to the bolts and just nudge every corner until eventually it'll just fall through over all the bolts together. And the inside ones as well. So now I'm going to secure it with all the bolts from the previous panel, and then put the plastic finishing covers over the exterior bolts and nuts, and we'll be back. So we're just about done. I've secured the Stow N Go floor panel and put the finishing caps on. And the seller of the panel, who by the way is the same seller as the seats for me, made sure to include this middle piece that just snaps into the middle. Make sure these extension panels, which I'm not too sure why they're there, are not extended, because you won't be able to put down the floorboard properly. And I'm not quite sure what these extensions are, but they don't really extend. They kind of like snap down in the middle. I'm not sure what the engineering behind that was, but they just stay in place and they'll stay there. So with the floorboards completely in, which I did not have on the CVP, you know, it's about $4 grand more for the next level van to get the middle Stow N Go seats, and of course you get a few other extras with that, but for my purposes I just really wanted Stow N Go in the middle, but I didn't want to pay $4 grand for it, and I got 2 seats for $150 and the floorboard for $70. So I think that was very reasonable, and this was extremely easy to put in. The only catch was getting those 2 extra bolts. Not bolts, but rather nuts from the hardware store to complete the secure installation of the seats. So, let's see how that worked out. Alright, you got it. Had a little technical difficulty with this item. You have to pull out, see the red tab, so that the joint here will fold. There you go. Okay, pull on the seat. And there she goes. As easy as that. I got one. There we go. For the driver's side. Pull on the seat. Make sure it doesn't hit the panel. There we go. Lift up back. Lift up. Here we go. Wow. Certainly didn't buy the van this way, but it was easy enough to get these seats for less than $500. Well worth it, folks. Pedals now. There you go. There it is. 2 beautiful matching captain's chairs. Thanks all for watching, and good luck finding the seats and the floorboard at a reasonable purchase from an aftermarket seller on eBay or your local Craigslist or KJ listings. Have a nice day.